What's happening, everybody, and welcome back to Streamcast, a show on the internet. We watch the latest and greatest stuff on streaming services with you guys. I remembered it. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. How's it going, bro?
Yeah, it's going good. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you too. Finally, in the Christmas spirit,
That's
you
right.
are.
That's right.
It's crossed the threshold that you've made of 2 weeks into December.
Yes. Yeah.
Anything before that? You're a loser.
I'll tell you my big thing about Christmas. I want to enjoy Christmas, right? And this year especially, and last year, like, it's not. It sounds dumb, but it's not cold enough. It's a bit wet and rainy. Like, it's a bit dismal. It's not very Christmassy.
Very UK-like.
Yeah. Most people don't. A lot of people don't have decorations up. Like, it's not feeling very Christmassy. And what I didn't want is to have all of my Christmas spirit used up by Mariah frickin' Carey on the radio. Yeah, like, in October, because that's when some of these shops starts off. So, Merry Christmas, boys.
There we go.
And girl.
There we go. Yeah, the one girl that's watching right here. We're back.
Merry Christmas, Mum.
Doing Streamcast. We're back on the FPN. Your flagship show is back, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
Hey.
Finally, something to watch here.
The guys. I was actually surprised because I thought, don't get me wrong, we have fun here and there's a lot of guys here that enjoy the show and stuff like that. But people were asking, especially when it came to Hawkeye, they were like, yo, where's Streamcast at? What's happening? What's going on? And I was quite touched that people actually gave a frick.
It's cool to actually. We have a few like housekeeping announcements. Hawkeye, we're gonna do a one shot bigger episode with Kangaroo Jack.
Yep.
As our guest here on the FPN, our flagship show. So we're gonna summarize the whole show.
Yeah.
In one like meaty podcast. It'll be the three of us. It'll be a good laugh.
Yeah.
And the reason we chose to do that is because we sort of felt like, and we ran it past the boys, we sort of felt like Streamcast was becoming a Disney Plus show.
Yeah.
And it isn't. It is meant to be for like the best stuff out on streaming services. So we're also going to do The Witcher, which we've decided because... Quick tangent. First tangent on the show.
There we go. Tangents are started, boys.
I want to say a big thank you to Disney because I actually really appreciate stuff coming out weekly now. I've got a reason to watch stuff. With The Witcher, which I haven't watched yet, but I'm going to watch the whole thing in one day. And then have... I know me, right? And then I'm going to have nothing to watch because that's the way I'm wired.
The week-to-week thing, especially like when it comes to talking to people here, talking online and stuff like that, it's always that cool moment where it's like, did you watch the latest episode? This thing happened. What's going to happen next week? It's so cool. With The Witcher, it's going to be like...
Have you seen The Witcher?
I've watched the whole thing, yeah.
Right. So I really appreciate that. And in a weird little tweak on that, we're going to do The Witcher Season 2 in 4 parts. So we're going to do each 2 episodes as a podcast, right?
Yes.
We've decided.
2 episodes each. Every single time you see it, every week we're going to do first episode, next 2 episodes, the next 2 episodes until we come up to the finale. A bit like how we're doing for today to wrap up Witcher Season 1. We're doing the last 2 episodes right here.
Yeah. As planned, fully on track.
As we said, always belong. The reason why we're going to do it that way is because if we do it every episode, which is possible, it's going to be like 8 weeks down the line.
We'll be in the end of February by the time...
Kind of irrelevant by then. And and you never know what else could come out by then.
Run
and
into
then
another show,
and then we're stuck in it. And we felt like 2 episodes each where we get to talk about a good meaty portion of the show and get it all out for you.
We're going to get it all out for you, boys.
Conclusive proof that Disney is better than The Witcher.
Facts.
Because of that fact. And Henry Cavill... I can't say it. I'm going to talk shit about Henry Cavill, but the man's perfect. He's
actually frustrating.
It is. It's not fair. It's not fair the way it is. Anyway, guys, we're here today to talk a little bit about The Witcher Season 1. Yeah. We're going to wrap up. but before we do that...
Damn it, I was going to do
that.
God, no, I was going to cut you off. It's no fun if I don't get to
We are going to be talking about The Witcher Season 1, and I think
But before then...
Oh my God! What is happening?
We have an incredible bunch of people to thank over on patreon.com/conversations to make this whole thing happen. Who do we have to thank?
We have Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate Comsong, Sabine from Smallville, the Star Wars Encyclopedia, Adam Sunling, Jeremy Renner, that's right, an official Avenger. Good luck over there with Hawkeye, bros. Really good right there. The super sus Ben Fryer, the filthy fanatic Joe McCormack, my juicy left nut, the super sexy producer Shauna, big boy Billy, Catsbud the friendly patron, and Kevin, the #1 simp. of Xbox's Game Pass. Thank you guys so much for keeping the lights and mics on and the streaming services going here at Streamcast.
That's
It's
right.
good to be back actually on the FBN.
It's still funny. It's still funny because I know there are people that listen to the show.
On podcast services,
Yeah,
right?
because that was cool to see, by the way, that little wrap up.
Yeah?
The Spotify wrap. That was cool.
That was a good thing, yeah. Thank you, everybody. But we didn't say it over here. We said it on our
We did.
podcast, on the True Gamer podcast. But here, thank you. It was amazing seeing our Streamcast and True Gamer up on so many people's Spotify's top fives. It was fantastic.
We were up there with some big names. We were like up there with in the same. Don't get me wrong, like not in a real discussion, but in someone else's list with like Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
like we were up there. So it was pretty cool to see. We really appreciate it.
Really awesome.
And we also
Thank you.
really appreciate those were the super bros over on patreon.com/conversations where you can support us for as little as $1 a month.
Can do.
And you also get some extra stuff like extra podcast stuff. It's pretty cool. You might want to think about it.
I'd recommend it if I was just
I
saying.
mean, impartial observers,
Exactly.
we say it's probably worth at least $1 a month.
At least. You know, that's just us. But and we're impartial. We're completely unbiased.
Completely unbiased. Yeah.
All right, bro.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Witcher Season 1, Episode 7.
That's right.
We start off.
Siri
Geralt.
stealing, isn't it?
Oh yeah, so well, I think it starts just a little bit before that. I've got it down as Geralt standing on a mountaintop watching Nilfgaard's army arrive.
I have
to
those
go
scenes
to the.
flipped, but
Yeah.
whatever,
Oh, okay.
man. It's the same stuff.
Well, it's the same stuff. It all happens in the same. To be fair, the time jumping that happens, our time jumping doesn't matter. They did it first.
Yeah,
Okay,
they did it first. Also, we did jump about 8 months.
We did, yeah, a little bit there. Watching the Nilfgaard army
Yeah.
arrive in the beginning, and Geralt meets none other than Mousecrack in the.
I have it mouse trapped down here as well.
I have it down as mouse sack actually, but I didn't want to say sack on
Yeah.
on video.
Basically, he sees the army and then is like, okay, these guys are going to Sintra, and he goes and meets Mousetrap
Yeah.
in a
Cave somewhere.
in like somebody's wine cellar.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Yeah.
Talks to him and he goes to make sure that the child of surprise is okay. Says, I want to make sure that he's okay. As long as you tell me that thing, then I can be on my way. And then he's like, it's a girl. The princess of Sintra, Princess Sorilla,
That's right.
is being looked after since her parents died by Queen Calanthe.
That's
So,
right.
oh my god, it's a girl. That makes the whole of the
That
difference.
changes all of the things.
Everything. He acted so surprised. I was like, first of all, you just assumed it was a boy, and the fact that you was wrong, it was a 50-50 shot. Not that big of an issue.
I think I'll say this. So I think that for Geralt, being a Witcher, because that's one of the ways that Witchers come to be, is like people give them their own, and it's only male kids. It's for some reason the nutrients only work on boys, and it seems like most likely when a Witcher gets a kid as a child of surprise, that it's going to be a boy to make another Witcher, because that's the way like fate and destiny and stuff works.
I get you.
So this could be the first time a Witcher has ever had a child of surprise that wasn't a boy.
Right.
That's how I take it. That's why he seems so surprised.
Good point. I like the way you said that. Yeah, okay.
That's why he seems so
I can take
surprised.
that on board.
Yeah.
All right, it's a girl, and as they're talking,
Some bad guys are here as
yeah,
well?
he says something, and I didn't rewind it to go look back, but he sort of like he senses or smells something,
Yeah.
and he goes, "Synth assassins."
That's what I heard.
That's what I heard, and then after I was like, I thought it was gonna be those guys that transform, and I was like, oh, like the doppelganger people. I was like, oh shit, they're coming to murk you, and then it's just guys in
It's
knights
just
armor.
dudes, yeah. It's just guys.
Anyway, they come along, and it's very clear they're trying to attack Geralt. He grabs Mouse Sack by the sack.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, it does.
it has a knife to his throat, and he's like, "You can't win. You have to come with us." And he eventually says, "Like, if I'm going down, you're going down with me." And Mousecrack teleports them to Sintra.
Yeah.
Disappears right there.
Or like, I think they're in Sintra. He teleports them to like
a better place,
a
like
better, yeah.
to where the queen is.
Yeah.
I didn't know where they were. I was just like, I guess they're somewhere else. And he's met them anyway. Then what happens?
So there's a lot of cut jumps and stuff, which
Yeah.
in this episode's kind of strange actually. Episode 7 is a bit weird because somehow a lot's going on and also nothing happens. It's a setup episode and it's kind of busy, and I also feel like they could have used the mage stuff where they're setting up like, oh, the mage is going to Sodden
In the next one.
that could have been stuck in here.
Yeah. Made the battle bigger at the end, didn't it? They've been better.
Exactly. We could have had a bit more of like a culmination in the next episode. But Siri is at like some. It looks almost like a port town.
Yeah, like an area where they do
She wants
trade,
to go
right?
to Skellige. That's why.
That's true.
That's why. So she's there. She's stealing food.
Yep.
And looking for like gloves.
Yeah, she steals a pair of gloves, and the
way
guy catches her.
Way overpays.
And she gives like a silver ring, and it's like, where'd you get this? Like, my mother gave it to me. That I think you should have kept.
Yeah.
I would have kept that.
Or
just putting it out
maybe
there.
got more like, a horse, the boat. Like it's
Pair
like
of
a royal signet ring or something, like
Pair of gloves, fair trade. Let's go.
they're not even like super fluffy, super warm gloves. They're just some gloves, isn't it?
Yeah, it is quite bad. Anyway, she does that, and then she does look over. Does she go over to a barn or something like that? And one other woman who seems to be genuine sees her and says,
Yes,
doing
I'm
that in
gonna
the
I'm gonna
cold.
say 100%. Even though I know what's coming because it's like the third time I've seen The Witcher.
Yeah.
I'm like, this chick's you can't trust this chick. This is an evil witch that lives in the woods. She's gonna take you to a gingerbread house or something. Like every time, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. She's a nice lady by the end of it. But yeah, she's like, hey girl, let me like feed you.
Yeah, we've got a place. There's a space on the floor for you to sleep.
Right.
There's like shelter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Fire. You can come stay over here. And I'm like, that's like getting into the back of a van of someone
That
who's offering
is
you
super.
candies.
Hey girl, I got puppies and sweets. Like it's a bit sus.
Yeah, that is.
But
still, she's just sort of like, okay. Well,
I mean,
I guess I'll
so-
go with it.
like initially Siri is like let's just do this scene.
Yeah.
Siri's like going along with it, to like gain her trust, I guess, because she's a bit hardened by reality at this point.
Yeah.
And then in the end, jacks her horse
Yeah,
and runs away.
exactly.
Which I totally forgot that. Now, looking back on it and what happens, this chick would be way angrier.
It's a horse. Horse is a big deal.
It's like someone stealing your car.
yeah, worse
And
as well
then
because you have
crashing
to like,
it.
Yeah, exactly. Takes the horse.
Yeah, because I swear she says, I assume she has like a cart, right?
Yeah.
Maybe she
So
has.
now how's my car gonna get around?
In it, she's down to like half her horsepower gone.
This is horsepower, I like it. At one point as well, we cut back to Geralt. He gets teleported to
He's in the
other
castle,
part of
yeah,
Sintra and meets Queen Calanthe, who's just like inspecting some weapons and stuff like that.
Yes.
And the Queen says that you should have stayed away, Geralt of Rivia. And he's
he
like,
says, fuck.
he's like, look, if you had treated me like a friend rather than an enemy,
Yeah.
everything would be fine. You
Yeah.
just decided that I'm your enemy, and then that's that. And I'm like, fair point. The guy didn't,
It's a fucking solid point
the guy
because
didn't do shit.
not only is Geralt like well known as like not a complete cunt, which in this world is fairly rare,
Yeah.
but like destiny has forced him to be like the perfect bodyguard for this kid.
Right.
Like the perfect body. You couldn't get better.
Yeah. And it's not like he's ever expressed he's going to murder
He
her,
specifically
sell
has
her.
only shown interest in keeping the child of surprise safe.
Right.
That's it.
He makes one final plea here. He says he offers to protect Ciri and offers to take her, protect her, and then bring her back unharmed once everything's all cleared up because Nilfgaard's army's coming and she's not going to be safe here.
Yeah. And it seems like Calanthe sort of sees a bit of sense. She's like, okay, look, I can't... Because I think he even says, like, you... she says, I abided by the law of surprise and it got me a dead daughter, right? And a hedgehog in my court, or something like that.
Something like that.
And he's like, look, we've tried to fight destiny before, and this is what happens. Like, it never works out. Let me take her away, beef out Nilfgaard, and I'll bring her back once it's safe. And she's like, okay,
Yeah.
that seems reasonable, because Calanthe, she's a big thinker. She's all about doing what's right.
She's got a brain on that shoulder of
That's
hers.
right.
She's not just a hothead.
That's right. That's
Exactly.
right. And so she goes and gives Geralt somebody else's kiss.
That's it. There's a scene where it's like she's talking to a girl with like blonde hair.
Oh, yeah,
and,
she's-
and it's from
yeah.
behind, and they're like, "Look, you must go with him. He'll protect you and stuff like that." Just as he's walking.
Who
in.
are you?
And it's like he's never seen us. Or something. And then she turns around and it's like, here's Princess Cirilla. Turns around, completely different chick.
Totally different chick.
And we're like, and she's like trembling because she's like, I'm just a random little girl that's just been taken for this one thing. She's like,
In fairness, it would kind of make sense that like a princess who's been like not shuttered away but protected from the world, who's
Yeah.
now being told you got to go with this strange guy who murders monsters for a living.
yeah,
Right? So like he he's Doom Guy to these monsters,
Yeah.
right? He's the stuff of their nightmares, who you've never met before. Oh, and by the way, your home's about to be burnt to the ground by the sun. It's destroying everything in its path.
You expect to be a little bit shaken.
She could be a bit trembly, fair enough. And so Geralt kind of like buys it. He even says like, "Hello, Princess Cirilla. It's nice to meet you. I'm Geralt. Like, come with me in it."
And she goes, "I'm just gonna. Can I go say goodbye to my friends first?"
Yeah, fair enough.
She's like, "Cool, no problem." She goes off, and he goes, "All right." And the queen says, "I will call for you when she's ready." Okay, well, I just came in. I'll go fuck off again. All right, no
I
problem.
guess I'll just go frick myself.
And as he walks out, he gets like a feeling. Now, is it a feeling that
It's
he
100%
gets,
Destiny.
or Destiny speaking to him?
Because literally Destiny opens the door.
I was wondering if it was either Destiny or because when he's leaving, he's looking at Mousesack, and Mousesack is, he's all magical and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know if he gave him some sort of magical hint or something to go down the hall, or if it was Destiny calling him to go look over there.
I noticed that as well. Like he definitely clocks a look on Mousetrap's face.
Yeah,
I think
I like the Destiny idea, by the way, better.
I
than
prefer
the
Destiny
I like
personally because I like the idea that Geralt, for someone with like basically no emotion or really stunted emotion, who's not exactly human anymore,
that. Yeah,
he understands human beings as both kind of like them being monsters in their own little way and having to deal with them, being shunned by them, having to work for them and with them. So he really understands like human psychology and stuff.
Yeah.
Because half of the stuff he's going to deal with is people that have been cursed by other people. Like it's almost all a people business.
yeah.
So he clocks something on Mousetrap's face and it makes him feel uneasy. But then I think Destiny steps in. Like, why would that random secret passageway open? And it feels like the magic stuff that the wizards can do is either a very specific ability, like that one dude's sword,
Yeah.
or they have to really be like interacting with the thing. He couldn't just be in there talking to Queen Calanthe and be like, "Hey, Queen Calanthe, no, I really think, let me just open this door. I really think we should have done something different there, So I feel like Destiny is pushing him.
I like
way.
that answer a lot. It's just because they were looking at each other. I was
Yeah.
like, is he trying to help him out in this situation? I don't know.
It's really rough, and I hope they don't do this in season 2 because we're constantly throughout this cutting between, because everything we covered with Ciri is cut in between this. Yeah. So Ciri isn't here, except she is here, and Geralt's here. So, do you know, it's fricked. It's super fricked.
There's her timeline as well. If timelines were moving at the same speed, that would be something as well.
Oh god, yeah, that's a good
Ciri's
point.
timeline is moving at one steady, constant pace, and
Yes.
Geralt's was fucking all over the gaff.
Yeah, we've covered like 70 years or something.
Goes so far all over.
Yeah.
No one knows what's going on. Anyway, Geralt then goes down this passageway and goes outside to this like one doorway and sees the Ciri that he met run over to some kids to say goodbye. And she says, goodbye, it's the last time I see you, and goodbye, Your Highness.
And bows to
One of these other kids. It's like, what? And that kid turns around and has also got blonde hair and whatnot. And Geralt straight away, because he's as sharp as the swords on his back,
he's like, "Oh, I'm being had."
being addy.
Which, in fairness, again, like, because I like the way he handles it. Like, he doesn't just walk over and be like, "You got to come with me," because he could.
Yeah, this is not the correct way to do it. I mean,
Right. He goes back and speaks to Queen Calanthe because he's definitely used to being done over by.
You stupid bitch!
Yeah. Listen here, you dumb motherfucker!
You try to fool me, and
Like,
she acts like she was all cool about it. It's like you didn't just get got. It's like you got found out.
You got
bitch.
caught. Your hand was in the cookie jar. It's done because the thing about it is you're not just trying to fool the Witcher. She's seen what Destiny has in store, right?
Yeah.
And if it gets interrupted, what happens?
Yeah,
You're beefing out like the universe here.
yeah.
You're not just some Witcher. Like some Witcher you can kill. I get it. Cool.
Geralt of motherfucking Rivia.
I mean, yeah, some Witcher, not Geralt.
Exactly.
Some Witcher.
And the funny thing is that she plays off. She's like, look, I'm not gonna give you Ciri because I have taken care of her ever since her mother died.
Yeah.
And she makes a half compelling point. I'm
That's
like,
pretty good.
you care for the kid. You're a very powerful person. You have a huge army. You are like the mother to this child. You understand? I get it. I get it.
That's the best point.
However, the bit that we just don't understand is that you have made an enemy of this very powerful ally.
Yeah.
who really has a true invested interest in keeping this girl alive. If anything, you could have said, "Why don't you stay here and stay as a personal
Oh,
bodyguard?"
bruv. That bugs me so much. Because look, so what you said, because she does make a half compelling argument. She says, why would she be safer on the road with you, somebody she doesn't know, surrounded by monsters who's going to go off, because you still have to work,
Yeah.
going to go off killing, or even just staying in random inns on the road. Like, being on the road, even in the real world,
Yeah.
isn't the safest thing in the world. It's not like super safe. She's got a castle with fortified walls. I'm a seasoned general with an army. We've never lost since I've been in charge. And it would be so easy to say, look, how about stick around, you have an actual bed, 3 square meals,
Yeah.
and then if it breaks bad, you can take her out the secret passage and run away. But let me keep her safe.
No. I'm going to insult you
Yeah.
and make it your own personal vendetta.
What would you know? You could only potentially be the single greatest bodyguard, you and Mousetrap, single greatest bodyguard this one child could ever possibly have.
So fucking
Both
dumb.
of you get fricked. What?
That part was just so dumb. It's like, yeah, but humans don't act this way. What is wrong with you? It's
Right. That is one of those things where it's just like...
This is the part where Adam Sandling, because he actually doesn't like the Witcher TV show.
Okay.
He really likes the books. He's like this is why I'm on his side. I'm like, this is dumb. This is dumb. Okay.
On Adam Sandling, I want to step in and say, so we have actually had a big debate in the community about what is canon for The Witcher.
Yeah.
I think you and I both agree that it doesn't matter that the books came first. The game, The Witcher 3 in particular, is what is canon.
Yeah.
And I'm with you, because I've read some of the books.
Yeah.
The books are better than... The book's story, like the overarching story of how it all develops, makes more sense than the show.
Okay.
But it's trash. They're so poorly written. There's a reason...
Oh boy, hot take, guys.
And I know people love them, and maybe I got a bad translation, but like... This,
Or maybe you just have bad taste. That's also
it could be that as well, but this just bugs the shit out of me, man. Like, like you said, why not just say just stick around?
Yeah.
Stick around and keep her safe here, and don't get in the way.
Oh boy.
It bugs the shit. I'll say maybe it's fate though. Maybe it's fate. Maybe it is fate where like if Calanthe survives, let's say,
Yeah.
that Ciri would not go with
Would
Geralt.
stay there. Yeah.
Right.
Possibly.
And so it is everybody's destiny that it has to go this way, because they always
She's
end up
this irrational. It's this
yeah,
the
they end
destiny.
up together in the end.
Yeah. Spoilers. Jesus.
What? Oh, I'm so sorry.
You didn't say that. Didn't say that.
But like, it's only because their paths go around the obstacles that they meet up, and if those
that is
obstacles
possible.
don't happen, then they don't meet up. And also, because also if you think about everything that's happening, Geralt's chasing after Ciri, and Ciri's looking for Geralt. If Geralt just arrives, there's no like significance to that relationship. So maybe it's destiny making her be really stupid.
Have you read this particular story in the books?
No.
I want to know from anyone who has read it if it's actually like this, because also they kind of have to stick kind of true to the source material in some point. And if Queen Calanthe is just a boneheaded idiot who just wants to keep Ciri no matter what, even in the face of blatantly obviously good thinking, then they guess they have to stick to that, right?
Yeah,
and then
I
come
guess.
up with another. I don't know.
It's fair enough. And also, like, kings and queens are sometimes famous for doing just what they want, because you get used to doing what you want the way you want it. I just it bugs me.
Yeah.
But and another good point. Staying true to the source material is like 99% of the time the way to go.
Yeah.
When people stray, it messes stuff up. We saw that with Altered Carbon Season 2. Was trash because it just got away from the books a bit.
Yeah.
When you get away from the books, when you get away from the source material, you get Game of Thrones Season 8.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. So if it's in the books, if anybody knows, let us know.
Geralt then is told, like, you're not gonna get Ciri. That's the end of that. Get out of here. And the guy who I've forgotten who his granddad guy. He goes and escorts Geralt out of the keep. They're like, okay, so you're going on. This is just how it is. And he's like, I'm not gonna give up. Like this is destiny. This is the child of surprise. I will always win. It's like, you have to promise me you're not gonna come back looking for Ciri.
You know I can't.
And he's like, I can't. boom, the gates close down on either side. He's trapped, and it's like, well, shit.
This is what I'm talking about with it being like destiny, right? Is they
Yeah.
could have got him out of Sintra,
Yeah.
but instead he's specifically kept in Sintra.
Yeah.
Like, is it Sintra? Yeah,
Yeah.
in the castle as well, exactly where he would need to be to be close to Ciri,
Yeah.
right? And like Granddad Guy doesn't kill him here, so it
It's like almost destiny holding him where he needs to be.
right. That I'm gonna say that because
There
it
we
squares the circle in the best way possible here.
We then cut to Yennefer, who goes to a quarry to meet up with her old boyfriend. Her old, is he an elf or something? Like
Yeah,
that?
he's like half elf or something like that.
half elf boyfriend and
Oh,
whatnot.
is it
with
her
the big
that's
hair.
half elf? He's something.
One of them.
He's
Oh no, wait,
magical.
I think she was half elf.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why she turned out.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, because in this world, if you mix races, it doesn't turn out good. It's not like if you mix races in the real world where you get like that amazing mocha skin and shit.
exactly.
Like-
you then turn out to be disfigured, and then you
Yeah,
have to
it's
go
super
to
bad.
You have to go to Hogwarts to get yourself
cut your
learn magic,
ovaries
to get your
out.
ovaries. It's a whole mess.
It's a
Fire
big old
circle
thing.
is
It's a big
old
thing.
Can't do that.
It's not a quarry though, is it? It's a dig, right?
I don't know. It was just
'Cause
like
it's a
a
big
massive dig
ruin.
site. Yeah.
Is it a ruin or is that just a huge rock?
I'm not sure. It looked like they were digging up something. It basically just looked like the beginning of Jurassic Park. It looked like where they're like digging in the desert looking
I
for some
expected
bones.
to see a
and
few
stuff like
people like on their 15th take of brushing away dust off of like a bone or something.
There you go, right there. Yennefer tries to get into him, just to be like, hey, you know,
Yeah,
you
why
know,
is she here
boring
again?
is boring, you know. Just why don't you like have something a little bit sexier, something like me, and tries to kiss him. He rejects the shit out of her, and I'm like,
Mate.
yes. But
He
then
ain't
later,
no simp.
But then, like 2 minutes later, she lays some more shit on him, and the guy's only human. The guy, he's been in the desert for months. He ain't seen a pussy
Years, bruv.
Years, exactly. He hasn't seen a pussy in forever.
That's right.
Guy had to get signed.
Fair enough. What is it she wants from him again?
I'm not sure exactly because
forgot.
I feel like she gets there pretending to be she wants to see him again.
I remember. So the basic gist, I think, is something like this: is she's sort of like not on the run, but she's on the outskirts from like the magical society after
Yeah.
she beefed out that one guy that killed the chick.
Yeah.
And she sort of leaves, and she's like on the like dark side of the magical world, if that makes sense. Like she's going to those weird bits and
She's on the black market.
yeah. And I guess she's looking for like allies, someone powerful, I guess, to watch her back,
Guess
so
so.
that she can not have to go back to. Is it Aretusa?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I think that's why she's here.
However, Yin gets approached by another guy, another mage, who convinces her that
Oh, yeah,
she needs to
Vilgeforce,
she
yeah.
needs to come with him and she needs to go back to Hogwarts. And
That's it.
Professor McGonagall asked for her specifically,
Yes.
and that praise doesn't get any higher than that.
It really doesn't.
Saying that apparently she was the best student that she ever had, and but she didn't. But she didn't actually say those words. She said that she's the best student that she ever taught, but she didn't say that she asked for her specifically.
So he says stuff in a very specific way,
Yes.
and I think he does lie. I think he says she asked for you specifically. I think he says that.
I don't know. In the
then-
next one, he says he didn't say that, and I was
But
like,
then- Then he says she said you were the best student she ever taught. So
Yes.
so he tells a truth, but I think he does say she's been asked for. I think he says she asked for you specifically.
The next scene, however, they go to Aretusa, and
They're back at Hogwarts.
they're back at Hogwarts, and the mage says, it's like, oh yeah, we wanted you here. It's like, where's Tasea?
I don't know, it might be to say.
Tasea, I think it is.
Yeah.
He goes, where is she? And it's like, she's in the castle.
Yeah,
she's not
doing,
here.
doing whatever she wants. Yeah.
I asked for you to be here. It's like, I thought you said she specifically wanted me here. It's like, I
no,
didn't
I
say
said
that.
you were the best student she ever had.
Exactly. But then she just walks away. She's like, fuck this.
I like the one line in particular is she goes, it took 5 minutes for the lies to start. Why did I think it would be any different?
Yeah.
But the point is, like, if it started on a foundation of lies, nothing going forward can be trusted, basically. Which is fair enough.
Yeah.
I feel like this version of Yen is so different from my version from the game,
Yeah.
where, like, my version of Yennefer is like, it doesn't matter if she's on the back foot. She has an idea of what she wants. She's strong-willed. yeah, she wants the baby and all that stuff, but like in this, it's like, you took it from me. Like, no, you sought out power, and that was the price that you put. You know
She
what I mean?
says that later in this thing.
And that bugs the shit out of me. And it can be something you regret. It can be something where you look back on it and go, I thought it would be different, but the Yennefer that I know
owns her stuff.
owns her shit.
Yeah.
And this Yennefer is a bit of a crybaby, and that bugs me because it's not.
Reducing her.
It takes away her agency because, and there's the scene where she has the other girls.
Yeah, that's the next
friends.
bit. She goes down the
she,
trip
like,
down memory
storms out,
lane.
yeah.
She goes down one of the old dorms. She sees some students, tells her about her time there, and she gets them all into smoking herbs.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
After that, she drops some truth bombs on the kids, saying like, what happens when even if you ascend and stuff like what happens to you, and the real cost of being there when having powers. And she pictures it how she was like, they take things from you when really it was you that gave it away, which was really dumb.
That's the bit that bugs me, because she's kind of talking to her younger self, in particular the one girl with the scarred face, right?
Yeah.
Who I presume is the one girl there with actual talent.
It's always
right?
seems to be the way, right?
Seems to be the girls that are disfigured tend to be the ones that, like, you know, they had changed themselves into what their perfect version of themselves. Because she also discovers that the other two have no magical talent whatsoever.
She says as well, like, how did you get here? It's like, oh, my father is so and so of this person. So it's like, so you didn't.
But what
have
about your convergence?
You didn't have a moment. What was the thing she mentions?
Is it convergence?
It may have been a convergence.
But the point is, what
there's a
she
specific
had.
moment where like some power happens, and then and that calls to them to come find you. You didn't have that. It's like, no, we're just
right. No, I'm here. My dad's rich.
Someone's rich. They pay for me to be.
I got
here.
my Hogwarts scholarship through dad.
Exactly.
But
which is bad.
It does bug the shit out of me, because, like I said, she's kind of talking to her younger self, and she says they take things from you, and the younger girl says, "What if I want that?" And that girl has agency.
Yeah.
That girl is the Yennefer that we knew.
Yeah.
And I want to see that version of Yennefer where she goes, "Okay, I did want it, and I gave up these things, and I didn't really understand what I was doing at the time because I was young and power hungry and scared and all this stuff." And now I want to fix the problem that I got myself into seeking power. Yeah. And that's the Yen that we know. How does Yen solve her powers? More power.
Yeah.
That her problems are always solved by more power. Because Yennefer is driven and hungry and super high achieving, and, you know, like, that's the Yennefer that I want. The boss bitch.
Yeah.
Yennefer. And it bugs the shit out of me.
Hey, you never know. Season 2 might solve all the problems. Likely not. And as she's talking to her...
So don't crack me up like that.
like what are the
odds?
Probably not. She's talking to these students, and as she's talking to them, Taisea comes up behind them. Enough! Girls, back to your room.
Question.
See each other.
You know, what's her name?
Taisea?
McGonagall.
Oh, Professor McGonagall.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Isn't Mirashi hot as fuck?
Professor McGonagall?
Oh, yeah.
I'd be all up in that.
Mate.
I need need to get rid of the dust.
I would have to, like, flip it.
Like
if it was between the two of them, I'd have to flip a coin, because Yen's hot as shit.
Woo!
But McGonagall is like, she's got the headmistress vibe.
It's that disapproving look and tone, which makes you just
want
ragingly hard.
You want to work for the approval.
I'll do it. I'll do it for you.
And weirdly, I don't want her to ever approve.
No.
It's a weird thing.
Even in the end, I wanted to be like,
well, that was disappointing. Oh,
just
God.
Go away.
Yeah. We'll have to try again.
I guess next week.
Right. I'm so glad I'm not the only one, because that's so not my normal thing, innit? My normal thing is like, I want the Yen, or I want the Monica Dambo, you know?
Can I just say, I was totally going with a bit here. Is this for real?
I'm so about it.
Holy shit.
I'm so about it. I'm so about it. The only way she could get better is if she had an afro. Wait, she's a mage. She can totally do it.
She can do it.
Shit. But she has a thing, man.
Streamcast has highlighted your sexual preferences and how weird they are.
I'm finding shit out about myself. The afro's new to me. I didn't know about that. But the weird thing is, thinking back on it, I'm like, oh shit, I do pay a lot of attention to hair. But I'm not, like, into hair. Do you know what I mean? I'm not that guy. I don't go sniffing people. Do you know what I mean? But, like, learning a lot about. Thank you, Streamcast. I'm learning a lot about myself.
They're learning a lot about you. They're saying thank you, Streamcast, as well. So that's and then just as we're talking, Nilfgaard is attacking Sintra, and the mages are planning on what they're going to do. Some don't care about Sintra, and they're all like, this is all in their meeting area in Aretusa. Like, some of them don't care about Sintra. They're like, we should just let it fall. Why does Sintra matter at all?
There is one great slapback. The guy says, "I say we allow Sintra to continue its proud tradition of fending for itself." I was like, oh,
solid.
Fair play, bruv.
And they're like, no, we have to, it's humanity. Like, we have to take care of everyone. This is like our responsibility to save people and whatnot. And really oddly, they start picking on Yennefer because she's just gone off and done her own thing and not really played with everyone else. But everyone's just an idiot in this room. Everyone's just a fucking cunt.
The weird, this kind of annoys me because although they are being really stupid in this room, this makes more sense than Calanthe not wanting Geralt around.
It's just a bunch of idiots who want power, who think they're better than everyone else.
Right, and in real life, groups, when you're making big decisions, do tend to go to like option A or option B. You tend to get about half of the people if both options have merits.
Yeah.
And the mages are all incredibly old because they basically don't die of old age, right? Thanks to their magic. So they all end up, because of all the power that they have and being like generally solo prospects.
Yeah.
They all have their own wants and desires, and they just don't see that anybody else could have another opinion. Like, I think Yen even says to old dude, to Dumbledore, she's like, well, at least he wasn't murdering children born at an eclipse.
Yeah.
You know, like,
he's just like,
he's like, fuck, can't believe she brought that up in front of everyone.
In front of everyone, embarrassed me like that.
But that's the point, is a lot of them get to be, maybe cruel isn't the right word, but when you live for like thousands of years,
things start to be insignificant. Smaller things become completely pointless.
Like, how many wars have they seen at this point, and how much has it really changed? Probably not a lot, right? And if you live for 1,000 years, somebody that dies in this world by the time they're like 40 usually, ants, man. And like, you step on an ant, you don't really notice it. And I feel like that, so there's this like it looks like cruelty to a lot of people, like, let's let Sintra follow its proud tradition and get fricked, right? But I think it's more like apathy, where they're like, the only reason we're discussing this is because it could impact us, the mages. Don't care about Sintra, don't care about the lives lost, don't care about the civilians. Care about, can we work with the next guy? Because I think they understand that the best way for them to be allowed to do whatever it is that they do is to just work with whatever system's in place. And then the other, the Dumbledore side is like, well, look, Fringilla's working with him, which means he can, and Fringilla even turns up, doesn't she? Is that this episode?
She does turn up in this episode, She basically like divides people. It's just sort of like what we're going to do. So that we should just, you guys should stay away. Nilfgaard is reigning supreme over all of these people and whatnot. And then essentially tells them to all cast a vote. And they all vote and decide that Sintra is left to defend for themselves. No one's going to help. There
is one thing here though, just before that. Before the vote, somebody fires off that Fringilla has been practicing like
black magic,
evil magic. There's something in particular. They say two things. One I've forgotten, and fire magic, which are evil and outlawed and chaotic or something, right? Which I think is important because it will come back. And she says, and this is very like not Palpatine-esque, but like potentially even Qui-Gon-esque. It just happens that she is evil, where she's like, this thing, it doesn't exist. There isn't a dark side and a light side. There's just the Force. Or whatever.
There's just the magic and just what chaos, we can do and what we...
Right. And it's an immature idea. But that's irrelevant. Let's just decide what happens. And it's important because we'll come back to that, because one of those evil magics,
Exactly. They all cast the vote. They say, all right, Sintra's left to defend themselves. Everybody walks away. Tissaia asks Yen to join them with a bunch of other like mages to go and defend Sintra from Nilfgaard's attack at a certain keep. Cut back to Sintra, and it's getting breached, and Geralt escapes the gatekeep down at the bottom where he's being held. He's like meditating by himself over there. He escapes by grabbing one of the guards, smacking his face against to take his keys. And it happens just as
Seconds.
Queen Calanthe is upstairs saying like, get Geralt to Rivia. The guard goes, and the guard goes to his cell, and it's like, damn it, he's escaped.
Damn it.
Fate. God damn it, why did it do this?
We would have got away with it if it wasn't for
for this damn thing. And he comes back and he says,
no, he's gone.
He's gone. Calanthe's just like, the last hope that we had,
Yeah.
gone.
Oh no, Calanthe! How could you have ever potentially had Geralt around when you needed him?
If only this situation could have been avoided. Oh no.
It's so frustrating because the worst bit as well, and this is the bit that I hate, and the lady that acts for Calanthe is actually really good. I think she could have pulled it off,
Yeah.
and so it just wasn't in there. Is I would have liked to have seen Calanthe go through that. Ah, fuck! Like I've beefed him out so hard, and now I need his help. I would have liked to have seen that like
Yeah.
personal anguish of like, frick, now I gotta like apologize and get him on side, and
Sorry.
where instead she's like, oh well, go get Geralt.
Yeah.
It's like, no, come on, Calanthe, like let's get some of that just desserts in here,
Exactly. So yeah, then we have the scene that we have right at the beginning where Ciri is being told that she has to leave the kingdom, has to be escorted away, and Ciri does the like, no, you can't leave me. You must find Geralt of Rivia. No, shut. And then like all the glasses shake
do
and
the
stuff
shaky
like
stuff.
that. It's really oh my god. It's like, find Geralt of Rivia. He is your destiny. She says.
Yeah.
And then Calanthe goes and does the brave thing
Yes.
and jumps
The
out the
warrior
window
queen
to kill. Exactly.
Trips.
Jumps out the
Doesn't
window.
even trip. She's like, oh, I guess I always
lands.
wanted to be a bird.
Exactly. Boom. No, she lands on the floor, kills herself.
Yeah.
Right in front of Geralt of Rivia.
That's right. Who, by the way, has been carving an absolute freaking bloodbath path.
Mate, if you could look behind him, it's just a wake of bodies.
It is awful.
Then what happens? Geralt finds a guard, one of the Nilfgaard guards.
Yeah, this is creepy.
In his ballsack armor, he grabs him, and he asks him. He's like, "I'm gonna ask you this one time," and the guy basically says, "I'm not gonna tell you anything." Stabs him straight in the chest.
Oh, this is isn't it? It's kind of slow, isn't it? He's like stabbing him.
I think he puts the sword up to him first of all. And
Oh,
he just
that's
goes,
right, that's right.
Stab into him, and then it's like.
The guy
You
just
didn't even
goes-
ask the question yet. He's got nothing to lose now. He's dead. It's like, and then he puts him down, and he's alive for a few more seconds. He's like, "Where is
Bruv, you just
Princess
killed me."
Cirilla?" It's like, what have you got against me
You
now?
just killed me,
I'm gonna be
bruv.
dead in 10 minutes.
Yeah, you just killed me.
And he's like, all of them are gone. None of them are left, or whatever. And he stabs him in the
Yeah,
throat,
yeah.
and then fucks off. And I'm like, this was a bad plan, Geralt. This was a bad plan. You got no information. Anyway, continue. You're gorgeous. Don't worry about it.
He is. To anybody that pretty can't do any wrong. Let's be
Exactly.
honest.
Let's be honest. He can cut me anytime. Stab me with anything he's got.
Bruv, I'm telling you right now, if it came out that Henry Cavill kicks puppies, I'd still find a way to simp on him.
But what did those puppies do?
Let's be honest. Let me say
Were
this.
they yapping at his feet?
Exactly.
He's got gorgeous feet.
good
He's
discipline.
He's essentially a model. He needs to look after his body.
It's true fact.
If those puppies were biting him, I blame the puppies.
I feel like I would side with Henry Chadville over puppies.
Everyone in the comments, I stand with Henry Cavill, the puppy killer.
That's right. That's right. Let's get that trending on Twitter.
He's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Who are these cunts?
These dickheads at Streamcast.
The worst thing is, imagine that would be the thing that gets his attention to us.
Matt, do you know, like all the love and praise and like the admiration we have for him, and that's what he sees from us. We're like, fuck.
God damn it. How did we do this to ourselves? Oh no, the consequences of our own shitty jokes.
Now I know how Queen Calanthe feels.
Suddenly, I think this girl was not too bad. We cut to Ciri.
We do. She's in the
made
forest.
She's made like a fire in a swamp.
Yeah,
It's
she's
weird.
She's after taking off with the
Stone horse.
the horse.
Yeah,
and she's traded her food. She goes, should have traded my food for my ring for food,
Yeah, yeah.
or something else,
Or
like
maybe
that.
all of it. I reckon that ring could have bought you the boat to Skellige.
Could have
So
covered
like
it, yeah.
gloves, couple days of rations. I don't think that's too bad. Hey, have you got all these gloves? Have you got any food, bruv?
Something to munch on. And then moments later, she's surrounded by people, but they're people from Sintra, and she recognizes them.
It's
She's
the one
like,
guy from the group.
I know you. Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
But he immediately just pushes her to the side. They go to look at her horse and see what she's got on the saddles and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And and they're just like, look, you're no longer royalty out here anymore.
Yeah.
Sintra's fallen. You're just nobody. The only reason why we're ever nice to you is because of that
Yeah, he said,
title
like,
you bear.
You
You know.
thought you were better than us because we had to let you win. And I think that's quite a good line because I don't think she knew they were
No.
letting her win. I think she just thought she was good at the game.
Yeah,
Which is
definitely.
there's just a naivety there, which is cool. And he's basically like, look, bitch. Turns out I'm evil now. And
Looking out
I
for
never
number
really
one.
liked you. And we're gonna like beat you up a bit and then take you for a reward.
Something? We're going to take you to Nilfgaard. They're looking for you, I guess.
Yeah, there's got to be a reward for her out there.
I guess so.
Surely.
And they grab her. They're about to leave, and then she just drops to her knees, and we have that like psychic trance type thing scene going on, with like shots of her face, her eyes close up, wide angles going back, and she says some stuff. And I actually wrote down what she wrote. Here.
Yeah?
It says, "Verily I say unto you, the era of the sword and the axe is nigh, the era of the wolf's blizzard, the time of the white chill and the white light is nigh, the time of madness and the time of contempt." And then it just goes boom.
It probably doesn't mean anything.
Probably doesn't mean it's probably fine. Don't matter.
It's not significant.
Nah, it's just mumbo jumbo, you know. She didn't have anything to eat. She was very like
Low
blood sugar was exactly.
Yeah.
Just out of her mind.
Solid.
So it was.
Fair enough.
And that's the end of episode 7 right
Yeah.
there. Like, ooh. Do you know what I really liked at this point? I was like, I'm glad we waited to watch the last 2 episodes just as the new season started, because it sort of got me in the motion of it again. I was like, all right, let's get into this.
I hear that season 2 starts really strong.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
the only thing is, there's an obvious starting point, which is, in the woods.
Yes.
But with this show, there's a good chance we go back to Geralt as a kid.
So Geralt was born.
Right. Or it's Geralt training at Kaer Morhen. Right.
Because we do have some flashbacks in the next
do,
episode
yeah.
of like his childhood, and we just go back. It's like, now let's learn about Geralt's mother. Let's go
Right.
back.
Which, don't get me wrong, I love to see as a fan.
Yeah.
Not exactly relevant to anything.
No.
Like, at all.
So let's crack on to episode 8 then. It opens with Geralt on the trail to find Ciri, and he goes through Sintra's refugee camp that he finds afterwards of
There is
everyone
one
dead.
It actually opens in the room where he kills that guy.
Yes.
And he looks at a book, which was weird, which again, maybe that could have been in... I feel like some of this stuff should have been shoved into episode 7.
Yeah.
That we got about 15 minutes of the mages walking around an old castle, which could have been last episode.
That's why I kind of like, because my notes, I was like, I'm going to condense my notes.
Yeah.
It's not even in there. That's how boring that bit was. It
it's
was
15
irrelevant.
minutes of the show gone, isn't it?
Yeah. Opens, my post, it was he's going on the trail. He sees the refugee camp where the Sintra people who got murdered that night with Ciri
So
when she
Ciri was
left.
there, and this is the key thing, is he's obviously been looking for Ciri for a while, because the merchant that he finds says... these guys are dead about a week. A refugee camp that was killed by Nilfgaard, and he's trying to do his bit and like give them a decent burial or something.
Yeah.
And Geralt is jaded Geralt, and he's like, "You should fuck off."
Yeah, you're trying to steal whatever's in their pockets. If I was trying to steal them, I wouldn't be moving their bodies.
Yeah, and then he calls him a butcher, and he's like, "If I was a butcher, you'd be in the pile."
Solid point right there.
Cool, fair enough.
And then a fucking zombie almost grabs the guy's legs and almost kills him.
They're neckers, right?
That's the thing. I didn't know, because my only experience is the game.
Yeah, me too.
Were the neckers water creatures?
No, those are drowners.
Drowners, that's it. So they might be neckers. Anyway, at the time when I first saw it, it was like just hands that came out of the ground. I was like, it's a buried body. It's a zombie coming out of the ground.
Nightmare fuel, regardless.
And Geralt comes along, chops the guy's hands off, saves his life, and he goes, "You better get the hell out of here." But then just gets attacked by a bunch of neckers.
I will say, this fight, despite being entirely CG, is actually really well done. And the best bit about it is Henry.
Yeah.
Because there's a scene where there's like 3 on him, and he has one in a hold. Like he's holding it like over his head, and he like shakes them off and breaks its neck. And they aren't there, but he has managed to keep about the distance of a skull on his hand. Like it seems weird, because I obviously have an appreciation of how it's done, so I'm looking at it. It looks like there is something physical there on his end, and I know it isn't. So like there's this weird scene where he throws one down and the camera follows it. Very clear the camera doesn't know what it's following, right? You can tell that, but Henry makes it seem like there is stuff on him. It's really well done on his end.
Yeah.
So Henry, puppy kicker, Cavill, well done.
Well done on this part again. Well done for kicking puppies, and well done for this.
Yeah, that's right.
He gets attacked and he gets bitten by one of them, which is
he beats
not
them
good.
out. But the guy says, Henry, Geralt says, "You need to leave. One bite will kill you." And he says, "And you too." And Geralt doesn't correct him. So it looks like probably correct.
Exactly. He gets bitten and he starts to try and walk it off or try and walk to something, and he gets taken down pretty quickly. Like 2 steps and he's already knocked out.
He says as well, which I appreciate. Looks like this is it. Not a happy end after all, and like a fitting end or something like that. A Roach. He's talking to his horse, his only companion and friend.
Exactly.
And this has to be like Roach 9 by this point, which is which. It gets back to, because we're going to find out a bit more about how witches are made if you didn't know in the show.
Yeah.
It's not a good life.
No, not at all.
Even Henry Cavill, who is the Witcher of Witches, Geralt of Rivia, it's not a good life. You know? And I just find it really sad, almost.
It's very... This is why these stories are very good. Is, in my opinion, the whole story of like being a Witcher and how the universe is made and whatnot, is because it's not fun. It's not happy.
Yeah.
And it takes a certain level of imagination to imagine something like that. Yeah. And that's something that you really need to... What's the guy's name? Because I don't fully know his name.
Oh, God, I can't
Andrew
remember.
Sapkowski,
yeah.
It's good imagination on his part
Yeah.
to come up with how they were made, how it all interconnects, and what their purposes are after you made this one. Very well done. The fact that it isn't nice adds to that, because it taps into a part of emotion that you don't always feel every day, and it makes it more raw,
it adds
more impactful.
a level of reality to the world, because it would be very easy to say like, oh, witches, they're beloved by everybody because they kill monsters, but that isn't.
And you wake up one day and you just have powers.
Right. Like, this isn't like if someone says, okay, you have a wish, you can go to any world you want and be part of the thing.
Yeah.
No one's going, I want to go to Geralt, I want to be a Witcher.
Yeah.
Right? I want to live in that world. It'd be amazing. It was going to want to be an X-Man. Right? I want to be an X-Man. I want to be in the X-Men, and I want a cool power. Right? That's what you wish for. Nobody wishes to be a Witcher, right? Like, it's just... I just thought it was almost poetic that Geralt of Rivia gets taken out by some neckers in a wood, trying to do a good thing for a guy that isn't even a customer.
Yeah.
That hasn't even paid him to do it. Just because he found himself to be there. And he had a much more important mission. But ultimately, Geralt is as close to a hero as you get in this world, and he's definitely not a hero. Yeah. And this is what kills him. And it's nothing spectacular. It's not fighting like Thanos. No. It's
some by a random monster.
Yeah, some random zombies around a pile of corpses that he should have walked past anyway.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, for me, I just like it, man. I thought it was good.
Well, that was good too. Ciri then wakes up in the next scene after her scream and sees the people and the horse that she was with all dead.
They've been pulped.
Yeah, plastered against like tree branches, blood everywhere. It's terrible.
Yeah.
The woman that she stole the horse from is there.
Yeah, she's like, hey girl, I still need you for my gingerbread oven.
Completely normal. Not like, hey bitch, you stole my goddamn horse. Just like, hey,
bruv,
hey little girl.
If I found the person that nicked my car and I find them and they're in the middle of a field and it's rolled over on fire, I'm not going to be like, hey bro, are you okay? That must have been a really stressful night for you.
Let me just go back and tend to your wounds.
Come to my house.
Yes.
We have food. Let me keep you warm.
The only reason why I'd say this is if I was looking to collect children.
Right, exactly. She's taking her back to a gingerbread house for sure.
This is not good. It's not good. The next scene, the mage have collected and they're traveling to protect the pass that Nilfgaard are going to have to go through the keep.
Can we just wrap this whole mage thing up in like one go?
Go ahead. Yen thinks it's a stupid idea. They should fight wherever they're going to be. But Professor McGonagall says that no, this is the best place to defend. This is the best place to go. Triss and Yen start to bond in the thing, telling stories about Astriga and how she asked for a witch's help.
This is relevant because she says that Foltest, one of the Northern Kings, is going to come. And she's like, how can you be sure? Well, I saved his daughter with the help of a witcher. Turns out it's the witcher that they both know.
Yep.
And that's why she's sure he will come. It's not he's said it, but like the person that saved his daughter has asked him to come. He will definitely come.
Yeah.
But it's 2 days away or something like that. We got to hold out until he arrives with his army.
Exactly.
That's why that bit's relevant. That's about the only relevant thing.
Exactly. She mentions that it's always a witch called Geralt of Rivia, and Yen tries to act like she didn't just start dripping from the sound of his name.
Oh, mate. She the next step she makes, slips.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Sorry, just slipped off of this. My pouch. A little wet here. We're in a boat, obviously.
Did it rain last night? There's a huge puddle here.
Something strange going on. The battle then begins with Fringilla makes the mages turn themselves into balls of energy. So some of her mages that she has turns themselves into balls of energy, puts themselves in a catapult, and then gets thrown to the keep.
I feel like that's maybe not the way magic.
I'm not gonna.
Soul bombs work.
I was gonna say, like, you make a lot of magic. There's a lot of magic that can be made.
Yeah.
Why do you need someone to sacrifice their 20 years of existence, learning and everything magic, to turn into a ball of fire?
Also,
I feel like they would have been better used doing something else.
Miss, there's no such thing as evil magic. That's an immature idea. Excuse me? Excuse me? It's here. Who's that guy on TikTok? You know the guy?
Yeah, is that?
There. That's it. That's your evil magic.
The mages come together. Yen thinks it's a stupid idea.
Oh, they get everybody. There's a bunch of peasants there. They have them everybody decides they want to fight. A bunch of
magical
children
people
and stuff.
Just nothing
Yeah,
people.
so then they have them make
bows and arrows and stuff.
Bows and arrows and glass bottles of
rocks,
copper sulfate.
And then the person magics them on top of
Apparently,
something like that. And finds them to keep.
There is one cool scene, which I do like, of sad Yen, where there's a lady there saying, "Oh, they took everything from me, so I'm gonna fight because I got nothing left.
Yep.
But I just wish I had more arrows or whatever." And she picks up a feather and creates more.
Magic's more.
And the lady says, "Oh, I wish I could do that." And she goes, "It's magic. It's not real." And I think that line's a lot deeper than.
Go ahead and explain that to me, because I was just sort of like, yeah, we know it's magic.
You're right. And that's the thing is, if you look at it on the surface, it's like it's not real. So then you're saying that these feathers won't work for the arrows.
Are they going to disappear?
Right. What I think she meant is throwing back to last episode where every time she said in the last few episodes, they take away your ability to actually create life, to create anything meaningful, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
She's talking about creating kids, right?
Yeah.
She's created something, but it's not real. It's not important. She can't create life. She can't create anything important. That's what I think she means.
Okay.
When she says it's magic, it's not real. She means it's not real creation, because
cool.
That's what I think that line means, and it always sticks out to me for some reason. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense if it is just what we're looking at. Right? And Yen is super smart. Yen's 120 at this point or something. She's older. She's old enough. She lived 3 lifetimes. Yeah. So let's say 60 years a pop. 180 years.
Yeah.
Wait, 6, 12. Yeah, 180 years old. Right? She's been at the highest point of the game in magic, in courts all over the world. So for her to say it's magic, it's not real. I think because we watched her create something out of nothing, right? And the thing that she cannot do is create life. That's what I think this line is really about. And that's the version of Yen I want. Where, I can't really create the one thing I want to be able to create. How am I going to solve this problem? I need more power. That's
a good interpretation. I like it.
Any other way, this Yen is useless. And I can't stand it. Because I do love Yen. I also have a beef with this Triss as well.
Yeah. You mentioned that before. We'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Do you mind...
Sorry
if I
tangents.
No. Do you mind if I that was part of it. It was part of it. Do you mind if I wrap up the Geralt parts?
Feel free.
And then we go back to the battle and just stay in the battle.
All about it.
So Geralt, we cut to Geralt, and he's being pulled by the man that he met in the refuge camp that was picking up bodies and whatnot. He's sort of saving him. He's going to take him somewhere that hopefully he can
home,
get,
I think, yeah.
so he can get some treatment and whatnot. Geralt at this point is hallucinating whatever the hell he's seeing.
Oh yeah.
He's seeing his childhood. He's also seeing himself with a woman that we don't get to see her face at a dinner table. He sees a mini gold dragon, and the dragon's telling him it's not real and
it's
whatnot.
Magic, it's not real. Yeah.
I
feel like that's after he takes the potion, though, isn't it?
At one point he does take a potion, and it sort of makes it a little bit worse for a second. It's like that.
I think as well that when he's looking at it, he doesn't go, "Oh, great." He takes them and he's like, "This is gonna suck."
Yeah.
So, which again, that's another thing about the witches and those potions. They're not fun.
No.
It's not like, oh, I'll just take this quick buff and be really strong. Like in a video game, I'll press the buff button.
Yeah.
Like, it freaking sucks to do these things.
Yeah.
But if you need to be resistant, you need your blood to be acidic because you're fighting a vampire. Like, that's what you need. If you don't do it, you die. It's going to suck afterwards. Imagine pissing after your blood is acid for 6 hours.
Lovely.
Awful, innit?
Yeah.
It's going to be like sandpaper.
He threw your urethra. Oh, Jesus Christ. After a little bit, he does wake up after they've like stopped and he's like by a tree. He sees a number of people. He sees that first girl that he fought in the beginning in the Butcher of
what's her
Blaviken where he became
name?
that. I've forgotten her name as well, but
God
that
damn.
girl.
Yeah, her.
He sees Yen. He also sees another woman, his mother.
Yeah.
And he's like, look at my eyes, like properly like address it. Like,
Oh.
what you've done to me. Look at my eyes. Do you see what they've done to them? Do you like them? Do you know what they do to young boys when you leave them?
These are two separate scenes.
Are they?
Yeah, so he's hallucinating,
Yeah.
and then it cuts to the woods. There's no one around, and he wakes up.
That's
in the hallucination.
that's in the hallucination,
But
yeah.
it starts with us watching him hallucinating,
Right.
and then it cuts to him in the woods alone, and there's a woman around,
Yeah.
and she's obviously treated him, and he realizes who she is.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
I don't remember her name either.
It said,
It said.
I totally freaking heard it last night.
Yeah.
When I rewatched this, and I can't remember it for the life of me. But he basically clocks, it's you, your mum,
Yeah.
you're my mum, and then he goes through the whole like childhood trauma thing of like, just tell me you didn't know how witches are made.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if she's a mage that's that powerful, she 100% knows.
Yeah. It's like 3 in 10 boys survive this whole thing, and it's excruciating,
Yeah.
and it's all how.
Do you like
painful
my
it is.
eyes?
Do you like what they've done to me? Do you like?
Do you know
what's
how
happened?
they do that?
And she doesn't deny any of it. To be fair, this is a hallucination. It's part of his brain.
I think it's real.
I don't.
I
think
think
it is.
I think she found him, and
I don't think it is personally, but there you go.
oh yeah, because the guy says which woman you called out. So
You
many
called out
names.
so many names afterwards. It would have been cool if it was like he tapped into like her in another area, or she's watching over him this whole time, or something like that. But personally, that's what I think. I don't know what the books are like. I don't know anything like that. So you guys are gonna have to let me know.
There is one thing though. Geralt is, and we find out this in this whole flashback series, that Geralt was also a child of surprise.
Yes.
Or a child surprise, whatever. That would mean that he has some sort of destiny link, and he and his mother are somehow linked, and that I feel like he really did speak to her, because otherwise why remember it now?
Do you think she's alive then?
From what we see in the flashback, we get the feeling that she's a pretty powerful witch.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, probably, but she doesn't want anything to do with Geralt. For the same reason that, like, because then you've got the question, how does she have a kid if she's this potent with magic?
Yeah.
Maybe she didn't learn at Hogwarts, and they like, because that seems to be a thing that they do.
Maybe. It'd be very interesting. Hopefully some answers come of that, because the next season, while it is only 8 episodes, when you say something as impactful as that, something big as that, surely you mean something, right?
Because one of our main characters' driving forces is she wants a baby,
Yeah.
and this is a powerful enough witch who has had a baby. So you'd think there'd be some sort of connection there, or I don't know, man.
Who knows?
I like the scene though.
Yeah. And then he wakes up and he's like, and he's okay again. He's like, all right, I've been cured by the potion that I took, but I hallucinated with all this stuff.
Maybe it was the potion.
That's what I think it was.
Maybe it was. Shit.
And then he goes off into the woods. He needs to find Ciri. That's his mission. He gets back on task.
The merchant promises him ale or something and says, let me just get you home. And then as they come into that, he just gets like a same thing where he found the open door. He's like, no, I need to go over that way.
Something's telling me to go
Right.
this way. The merchant as well says, it's like, you saved my life and I don't have any money to give you. The only thing I can offer you is a child surprise. And he's like, the law of surprise. It's like, look, I've gotten that shit before.
No.
I'm going to stay far away from that. It's okay.
And also, we did just learn that he's a child surprise as well. He's like, you know what? No, just call it a beer and we're good.
2 times I've interacted with this thing. It's fucked my life. I don't think
Right. It literally fucked my life, and then I got it back on track, and it fucked me again.
So he's like, no problem. But then we pick up again back at the keep. It's wartime, And let me see if I can find my spot
this
again.
the keepers. The timelines have come basically into things. So
Yes.
Geralt is actually, while he's sick, he's hearing the fight going on.
Yes.
Isn't he? He says, what is that? And the merchant says, from the direction, it sounds like they're attacking the keepers.
So he goes over that
So
way.
we're like on track now. Yeah.
Yes. We cut to so Tissaia takes Triss and out into a field. So
Yeah.
we're gonna start the fight over here. Tells Yen to go up into a tower and she can like coordinate people using her Jedi mind powers and talk to people in their
Yeah,
thoughts.
because
and
that's the
stuff like
thing
that.
we've seen her do before.
Exactly. Triss uses her powers to like grow mushrooms out of the ground and spores which then
Was that
poisons
Triss?
all of the
Oh,
I think
it
it
was
was.
cool.
I think it was.
Either way, one of the witches does it. It's pretty cool.
There was 3 of them there. The first one I think was Triss. She does that and she makes poisons all these Nilfgaard army
I
guys.
thought that was actually pretty sick.
Pretty sick.
That was cool.
There was another mage who basically just uses Jedi powers and chokes all of them, just turns them all off, just
Yeah.
like Esset, you're dead.
Yeah.
And then another
That's what
one.
I imagine, by the way, in episode 3, when Yoda comes into Palpatine's offices and he's
Those two guards.
I think he just pulverizes them. That's
Done.
my headcanon. Those guys don't exist anymore.
And thankfully they're already wearing red. So it's not
Right.
no one's gonna know
That guy wore the red shirt.
and then they attack with magic bottles. They like throw them in the air, and the guys shoot them with arrows.
one
and
girl's
they all just
really-
go-
Like, this is some seriously good shots.
Bruv, they're all Legolas. That's what they are. And I hate to say that because now all the guys in the chat, are like, Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Oh, that's not what we're gonna do right there.
Facts.
Anyway, and they're taking out all of this infantry like it's nothing.
Yeah, these guys are falling like they're toy soldiers, basically, innit?
Exactly. But fight with the balls. Oh yeah. Then the male mage dude,
Vilgeforce or
the
whatever.
Vilgeforce, whatever you're gonna say, whatever that word is.
Yeah.
He goes around the side and he finds one of the main commander dudes.
It's the guy, innit?
The guy with the feather thing with the eagle that he carries and,
ballsack
stuff like
armor
that.
and
The
stuff,
ball
yeah.
sack armor. Head the ball sack.
Mr. Head Dick.
Mr. Head Dick himself, and he gets in a sword fight with him. Yen
Yeah.
is trying to tell him to calm the fuck down because you're going too fast and you're using your chaos magic too much, pulling out swords every 5 fucking seconds. And I don't understand what kind of person is so good with a sword, but then so shit that he drops his sword every 5 seconds.
This is the thing. He's like, I'm a badass. I've got military experience, blah, blah, blah. Right? That's his thing.
Blow nothing, don't worry about it.
And like he turns up and he's like, when he arrives, he's pretty badass. Like he comes out this portal, he starts shanking people.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, cool. And then you realize his magic is because he just got butterfingers.
Yeah.
You know? Like, if that's all your magic, you could do it. Cast a freaking fireball on this guy.
You know what?
Break his legs.
I always drop my sword. I need to funnel my magic into something to solve that problem.
Innit? Imagine being a mage of like Hogwarts level tutor ability, and you use most of your energy on making sure your sword is always within reach. What are you smoking, bruv? It's
So
visually
shit.
cool. It is visually cool, but it's
Yeah.
dumb as frick.
But then at one point when he's fighting him, because he's like running out of power, he runs out of magic.
Yeah.
And he can't
goes
pull
for
any
the
more
sword.
swords out.
I do love that he goes to the sword and he's like, hey, what do you really want?
Yeah. What do you want, huh?
What do you truly desire?
I
you know, it's like, shit,
Easy, Lucifer.
Wrong show.
And then he just kicks him off the side of the mountaintop that they're on.
Yeah.
And he goes rolling down the hill, smacks his head on a piece of wood, a tree that's fallen over. I'm like, that's it. He's dead. He's dead.
Yeah, gotta be. The last thing you want to do is maybe pick up a bow and arrow and just do a death check in it.
Exactly.
Just make sure in it, this guy that can teleport took out your personal bodyguard in seconds.
He's dead now. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. And then we have Tissaia, who goes out to see Fringilla in the battlefield.
Tissaya's just like walking around in the fog somewhere.
Yeah, she
and
goes out there.
She speaks to Fringilla for a bit.
Yes.
And they say, so like we find out why Skellige wasn't at the battle.
Yeah.
No, wait. I thought Granddad guy died before Geralt was in prison. But he's the reason Geralt's in prison. Because we see Calanthe come... Oh, it must be the next day.
I think it is the next
Yeah,
day.
yeah. So we find out why Skellige doesn't arrive. Because
Yeah.
she said awful storm, lots of fog.
Yeah.
She's the fog bitch. Oh, shit.
She's
you
in a
really-
sea of fog right now.
50 Skellige ships sunk to the bottom of the ocean. Terrible accident.
Terrible,
Like, oh, it was you. Bitch.
And the thing is that she's evil now, so she doesn't really give her that much chance to talk. She throws magic in her face.
Dematerium or something. It's something magical that they... It's something magical in the world. I think it basically is like an anti-magic thing for right now. So like if she breathes it in, she won't be able to use magic for a long time.
Seems that like it worked anyway. She started choking and whatnot. She like fell to the ground. She didn't die though, which was
No.
the important thing
Yes.
right there. And did we skip the girl?
Also,
bit?
who's just keeping pocket sand around? She's just like she's talking to her, pocket sand.
just in case,
Right.
Like that. And then we cut to the keep again, and it's about to be flooded. It's about to be taken over by a bunch of
Oh yeah,
a
because
bunch
those
of
weird
people.
worms got in, right?
Yeah, so they break open the door, and the guy who makes the fog walks in, and he dies at that point, and he's carrying a box full of these worms,
the
things,
Fringilla
which
gave her.
opens up at that moment, and
She
you see
says
it
the
just
magic
floods
word.
open.
Yeah.
And that's very fucking nightmare fuel, I have to say. That stuff.
So you know we were talking about evil magic,
Nah, it's not
turning people into bombs and mind control slugs.
evil. Not evil.
It's
not
an immature view of the world.
Exactly,
know?
exactly. She then, they turn one of the. She then burned.
So the worms get into a few people's heads, especially that one blonde girl that was Yen's friend from back in the day.
Yes, guess
Whose
it's
name
that,
I
and
can't
two of these
remember.
people, two of these random villagers that are there.
They blow up the grenades.
They grab the grenade things, blow up the grenade area where they've
Yeah.
kept them. They throw some outside, and you can see like the earworm in their ears, and
Yeah,
it's
it's
going
grim.
to hell.
Yeah, it's bad.
Triss decides that she's going to block the door because that's the way they're going to get into the keep. She uses some tiny vines.
Yeah, she tries to do a poison ivy.
It looks really pointless.
I have a beef with this because my understanding, and it could be wrong, but Yen.
I think your understanding is going to come in a second. Hold on a second. Let me finish that
Okay.
one scene. So she puts up these vines, like she pretends like she's like going like that. It starts to build up. It's
Yeah.
very thin. It doesn't look like it will
I
hold very
feel
many
like
people.
a machete can take this out.
Exactly.
right?
Like, one arm goes through and she like uses a vine to like turn it away. But then one guy comes in with a torch and burns her. And then she's on the floor, basically incapacitated.
"Owie."
And that's that.
Owie.
And that
Ooh.
plays to your
Ow.
point.
That it really stings.
And that
Like,
plays
come
to
on,
your
Triss.
your point, right? Because Triss is supposed to be super powerful.
Triss basically goes nuclear in I think it's the books or the second game, I forget, but Triss basically goes nuclear. Like, you know what Yen does
Yeah.
in like 5 minutes?
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Like, Triss does that times 15.
Mm.
And I'm pretty sure it uses her up. Like, I'm pretty sure she dies because of it. She's basically like a corpse that's burnt to ashes, and there's not much left, like no arms and legs. And like she's completely used up.
Right.
She, like I said, nuclear. It's insane.
But what she does here is like,
She grows a little
What?
garden and then falls over. Like, it bugs the shit out of me.
It's really
because
bad.
This Triss is, I mean, it doesn't look like the Triss in our game, because in the game and the books, there's supposed to be a viable love triangle here.
yeah.
And I feel like, sorry to just reduce women to objects here, but if I'm picking just on paper, I'm not picking Triss, right? In the games,
Even
there's
though her hair is quite great, it's almost an afro.
yeah, but it's not though, is it?
I see. That's the distinction.
That's the big issue.
That's the distinction.
So I just think, like, in the games, if you look at both those characters, you go, okay, you can romance these. You go, damn, that's going to be a hard choice. I need to find out about the characters,
yeah.
right? Or like Panam versus Judy, right? They're both gorgeous.
Yeah, Judy's gonna win though.
Who are you gonna win? Do you want something good or do you want Judy?
Wait.
But that's my point. Is like, there's supposed to be this viable love triangle.
Yeah.
here. And I just, okay, fine. Okay, fine. Physical appearance, not a big deal. Geralt's old and can't get laid easily. Like, he's not super picky. Fine. So is Triss a badass? Is she super intelligent? Is she super driven? Has she got this like charisma that just draws you in? No, none of those things. She's just there.
She's just there.
She
and
can-
She does next to nothing.
But if you wanted to get into growing your own weed,
Should be there.
she's
Should be
the
sorted.
girl to call, right?
We know that the mages are all about growing herbs as well. We know all about that.
To that, and Yen's down.
Exactly.
It just bugs me, man. Like, she grows, like I said, a very thin ivy door,
Yeah.
and she stands right in shanking distance of it.
Yeah, it was very stupid. Like the one knife that goes through at one point, it's like that could have gone entirely through you. It's just for some reason this guy decided to shank next to you rather than at you.
Right.
I don't know. It was a very poor idea. Anyway, maybe, and this is a very poor idea.
Okay.
Maybe the idea was that he didn't want to distract from what Yennefer's going to do later.
The thing is,
And maybe there's going to be something in season 2 or season 3 or season 18 or whatever it goes on to that it's going to be that she's going to go amazing or something like that. or maybe there's an experience that makes her realize her potential or something like that. I don't know.
The thing is, we've already seen how powerful Yen is in the show, right? Up to this point. This is why it bugs me. So Yen seems to be taking the all of the limelight, which I get because she's the one true pair for Geralt, right? I understand that. But there does have to be this viable love triangle. And Triss doesn't seem to have any characteristics that would make anyone pick her over Yennefer right now. And we've seen how powerful Yennefer is. She tries to basically contain a djinn.
Yeah.
Right? Functionally a god, a genie. And she goes toe to toe with its power.
Yeah.
And holds it for like 10 minutes. In her frickin' like baby maker.
Yeah.
Like physically inside of her. Holds this thing that's desperate to escape. That has the power of a god. Holds it down. She's losing, but she holds it down. That chick doesn't need to be shown to be even more powerful.
I think
That's me.
you're, because that's based on what you know already of these characters. However, if you think about it as just a show, there's no one assumes there's going to be a love triangle yet.
I guess people don't.
So I
know
guess that's
how come.
why. That's why I'm thinking maybe in season 2 there's going to be the more built up story of Yen and why she's awesome and badass or whatever it's going to be, and maybe
But
she has a
so's
moment.
Triss.
Sorry, Triss. I mean,
Oh,
I meant
okay.
Triss. Sorry,
Okay,
I keep
cool.
saying Yen.
That's
Triss. Why she's going to get built up and why that's going to be. She's more
God, I
important.
hope so.
I hope so too. At least, but I agree with you though. She's supposed to be badass, and right now she's not.
Also, because Triss is interesting because she's like allergic to magic.
Yeah.
Or it's something like that, and so she ends up relying a lot on really serious potion work. And that's an interesting character development, because here you have this person that's really shouldn't be in the field that they're in, but is determined to make it work and finds a way to make it work. That's something admirable. Just like Yennefer, the Yennefer that we're pitching doesn't cry and complain that they took this from me. She says, I did this thing. I've decided that I don't like that now, and I need to find a way to fix it. That's admirable.
Hopefully we get some more of that explored in the season 2, bro.
I don't. Maybe maybe they're not going to do the Triss thing.
Maybe.
If they decide not to, which I feel like is maybe a mistake, but if they do decide not to, then it makes more sense.
Yeah.
But again, then you're getting away from your source material. It's in there for a reason.
Yeah.
But we will see onto a witch who is a badass boss bitch.
Yeah.
Yen is like feeling it all go on.
Yeah, she gets stabbed at one point by one of the other mages that got taken over by the worms.
Oh yeah.
She got stabbed by that bitch because she thought she was a friend.
Yeah.
In that moment of her being like stabbed and like walking through the battlefield and seeing everyone like losing and stuff like that, she starts to like feel her surroundings. She does find Tisea,
Lady
who,
Madam,
who like gives her a bit more like encouragement, like you have the potential, you have everything inside you.
Doesn't she say something like just let go?
Yeah. She's like, let go of all of this. And she gets up to a point, up onto like a ridge.
Yeah.
And she sees the armies coming and she just unleashes this giant wave of firepower.
Yeah. Literal firepower.
Which is
evil magic.
Evil magic. She manages to divert it around to Tisea so she doesn't get burnt to a crisp.
That's where it gets really interesting.
But she uses that power and destroys the entire army. Everything gets destroyed and ends the fight right there.
So again, in the books, that's Triss, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And it uses her up. Like it becomes stuff of legends. Like mages aren't supposed to be that powerful. That's power on a level that most mages can't dream of.
Right.
It's interesting because they say earlier in the episode or last episode that fire magic is forbidden. And then Yen goes and uses like the ultimate chaos energy, but also uses it in a way to protect people. She doesn't just burn everything around her.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets really interesting.
Because if it's evil, it's just all encompassing, all destroys
it's
everything.
just destruction.
That's all it is.
But she used this destructive force, but protected the people that she wanted to protect, and then just slaughtered everybody else. So it was very interesting, and it looked great. It was very visually satisfying.
It was very nice. Yeah, it was. And yeah, the Nilfgaard army is neutralized.
Yeah,
that's that.
Are they defeated, or they run back over the bridge, or something like that?
I think the infantry is down. I think the heads are still alive, but they just leave. They're like, okay, we're done.
Yeah,
They're
like we've taken a bad loss. We need to go back and regroup. Something
Exactly.
like that. Yeah.
And then we cut to Geralt's walking through the forest, trying to get to the battle,
Yeah.
and Ciri, where she's being kept in this like farmhouse and whatnot,
Yeah.
she senses something.
It's actually the other way around, I think.
Is it?
In my head, Ciri's at the farmhouse and runs away. And
She
then
senses something, and she goes, "I have to leave," and she
Geralt-
goes out and runs away.
Geralt's
into
coming
the
in
forest, yeah.
on the merchant's wagon, and he gets up and he's like saying something right, and then walks off into the village
Right.
and into the forest. So they're both off into the forest because I feel like we see Ciri leave just as Geralt comes in. I feel like that's the scene.
Yeah.
And then Geralt's just like, "Yo, thanks for everything, bye,"
Yeah.
and goes off into the forest. And then we get the scene.
They're like they're walking out into the forest, and they see each other in the distance, and Ciri just sort of knows that this is her destiny.
fate,
This is Geralt or whatever. This is my destiny, where I should be. Runs all the way over to him, grabs him, and does she say like?
Yeah, they hug
Geralt
each
of
other.
Rivia.
They hug each other. I don't even think they introduce each other themselves.
I think she just says, if maybe we'll say she just says Geralt of Rivia without even any sort of introduction or anything like that, or even seeing him before.
Maybe something like that.
That's like she just knows that that's
Yeah.
him, and then boom.
No, no. I feel like it goes like this. I'm pretty sure this is what happens.
Two versions here. Go on.
They run up to each other. They just know.
Yeah.
Right? They don't have to ask who each other is. Somehow, it's one of those things where like, have you ever been in love? You don't know. Then when you're in love, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm in love. Like you never know until you know. They hug because it's like finally that missing piece is back. That hole in themselves is complete.
Yeah.
And then she pulls away and goes, "Who's Yennefer?"
Oh yeah, she does that.
Out of nowhere, because that's a name she would never know.
Yeah. You're right.
And then it cuts, and it's like, well, what do you mean? Who the frick is Yennefer?
He's correct.
I think is that right?
Yeah, that's the way it is.
And it's a great ending because we know that
Exactly.
Yennefer right now is doing some badass shit.
Yeah.
So
And that's the end of that episode. End of season 1, all wrapped up. I think it left on a good area.
I like that specific ending scene.
That is very cool, right?
Also, I
there.
love the scene where they hug. It's one of my like iconic gaming moments when in The Witcher 3 when you meet up with Ciri.
Yeah.
Finally, where you see all those flashbacks of the stuff that's like canon either in the other games or in the books or whatever, and you're like, man, there is a relationship here.
Yeah.
I freaking love that moment in that hut, by the way. So good.
It was good. All right. Well, that's the end of The Witcher season 1. Remember, guys, next week we're going to be doing episodes 1 and 2 of season 2.
Is it next week?
Next week we're going to be doing it. Yeah, it's already out already now. Today is the day that it was out.
Isn't next week Christmas Day though?
I think it's before Christmas. Let me just double check because if it's Christmas, let's not put an episode out on Christmas. You guys
Right.
got things to do.
Yeah, I just think.
23rd it will be.
Okay, cool. We'll do it on the 23rd.
Thanks. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right,
down.
23rd. All right, that's when
That's
it will be. Enjoy yourselves a Christmas week. Everyone should be off from work
Yeah.
and school and shit like that. So
Yeah.
it should be. Hope it's filled of movies. Hope it's filled of gaming. Filled of the Justice League. Zack
Eating
Snyder's Justice
way
League.
too much food.
Exactly, stuff like that.
Underage drinking, all the good stuff.
All the good stuff and kicking puppies, as we know. Is a
Of
good
course,
thing.
Henry, you scoundrel, you.
God, what a guy right there. And yeah, we'll see you guys all in the next one.
Don't
Thank you for the support.
forget, each coming episode is going to be 2 episodes of The Witcher Season 2 apiece, and your comments will be read out.
Yes.
So, in fact, you could probably do it on this episode. You can do your comments for the...
We do it on our Discord server. If you want to join, click the link in the description. Epic place.
And
to
on
do.
our Patreon, by the way.
And on our Patreon as well, in case you didn't mention it. But if you want to, you can always come back to this video and we'll look at this video's comments and we can read out stuff there as well. All right, bro. I'll catch you all in the next one. Let's witcher it out. Igni, Quen, what's the other ones?
Ard, yeah.
And another one.
I'm glad you made this outro cool.
There you go. You see, this is my job here.
Do you know what,
I
bro?
don't do
No,
much.
no. Hold on. Okay, before we go.
This is what I do.
You're not allowed to do this. You play the games wrong.
Excuse me.
You play the freaking games wrong. I watched you stream it. You never use the right sign. You never use potions. You never use the right oils on your swords. I freaking hate it so much.
There's nothing that a good Igni and a good brute force steel sword can't solve. Okay.
I do feel like if you can't kill it with fire, you can't.
Exactly.
Agree, actually.
Ard's gonna solve your problem. Yeah.
Oh, there's a harpy flying overhead. Use Ard, brother. Burn it down.
Exactly. And any monster, steel sword, sort it out.
Solid point.
Exactly.
And on that note,
Goodbye.
oh fuck, Merry Christmas, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Merry
Whoops, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. We're so dumb.